can meet some girl here at this rally today for the first time, go to Vegas tonight and get married. And that marriage must be recognized by all other states under the Full Faith and Credit Clause and the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution. But somebody in this group who may have had their partner for 30 years is finally able to marry in just a handful of states, goes to New York and gets married. Iowa, Connecticut, others. But that their marriage is not recognized by all of the other states in the Union. You are a moral hypocrite.
Yes.
If you think that our relationships are not valid because we can't procreate, hard as we try. But you have no problem with senior citizens having sex. Sterile couples having sex. Contraception. You are a moral hypocrite. The gay agenda is an easy agenda. It ain't so tough. I'll sum it up in 2 points. Number 1, equality. Number 2, see number 1. We don't want anything more than they have. We want the same inadequate health insurance that they got. Some of you out here know that I'm a gay father. My son is a compassionate, loving, talented young man who lives with me. His mother and I were veterans today. We were never married, but we love each other very much. I love her family very much. I come from a Mexican-American family. And so, my family, my son is being raised not only by me, but by aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents. That's a family. And my family is just as good as anybody's family here today. Lastly, and most importantly, how many straight allies do we have here today? I want to make this really clear, and hopefully this hits Facebook and all your straight friends out there. The straight community has to come out of the closet. They have to get off the sidelines. You got to ask yourself a series of questions. During slavery, would you have been one of those that sat in a conservative church and used scripture to condone slavery? Or would you have been an abolitionist? During women's right to vote, would you have been in a conservative church quoting scripture to deny women's right to vote? Or would you have been an intelligent, courageous man standing next to that woman? During the civil rights battle, would you have been in a conservative church quoting scripture, denying people the right to vote? Or would you have marched alongside Dr. King? And today, are you in a conservative church quoting scripture? Or in this house quoting scripture? Or will you fight with us? The straight community must get off the sidelines and act. The lack of action might as well be violence. If I see somebody walking down the street and a car is coming at them, hopefully I can physically get to them and do something about that. If I can't get to them, it's my responsibility to say, get the hell out of the road! If I don't say anything and I see a car coming, I am responsible as well. The straight community must begin to speak up. People think that sexuality is a choice. Well, what we know is some think that. But then they hide behind their constitutionally protected choice of religion. They are a moral hypocrite. And we, as a community, need to call them out for it. I am very proud of the community centers that are represented here today, and our partners. Because just as there are representatives in this house behind me that represent hundreds, every single one of you represent. Go home, challenge your straight friends to get off the sidelines of society and act.
This law, other people can qualify if heterosexual domestic partners, they have the option of getting married, which isn't available to same-sex partners. The law also allows all kinds of family members to be covered: brothers, sisters, cousins, grandparents. The only people that can't qualify are same-sex partners. It's clearly unconstitutional. It's targeted towards gay families, and it violates their equal protection rights. So we filed a lawsuit in federal court. Michigan is the only state in the country that has a law like this. And it says, as I mentioned before, just by that fact itself makes it illegal. So we felt we need to do something about it, and we want it struck down. And people are starting to lose their health insurance coverage already. And these are people who work for local governments and school districts who are valuable employees, and there's no reason why they should be treated differently than their colleagues. And what people don't take into account is they have to pay taxes on the premiums that they receive, that are paid for their partners, and then many times they have to contribute to those premiums. And it's just unfair.
I know that you've been sort of collecting stories from people who are victims of this legislation. I'm just wondering if you could say a little bit more about what the reality is, what this actually means for those partners and those families that no longer have these benefits.
Well, example of one of our plaintiffs, Jolinda Jack. Her partner Barbara Rambler works part-time for a local school district. She works in the food service. She doesn't have health insurance, and Jolinda is able to cover her through her employment. Barbara was hit in the head with a baseball last year that caused a closed head injury to her. She suffers from problems related to glaucoma and diabetes, and to be able to get a health insurance policy on her own, given these medical conditions, it would be significant financial burden on her to find a policy like that provides the same coverage. She's due to lose her health insurance coverage because of this law. At a time when our economy, when people are struggling so much, taking away health insurance coverage from people is not going to solve the economy. It's only going to make things worse. The other thing to keep in mind, for instance, Kalamazoo, they cover 6 people under this program, 3 who have same-sex partners. It costs a total of less than 0.2% of their overall health care costs for all employees. So you're not talking about significant savings here at all, despite what some of the politicians said.
Right. Well, that's what, Ajba, who's representative from our side of the state, has been arguing, that this was a matter of fiscal conservatism and trying to balance the budget. I mean, how do you respond?
I asked him, why do you allow employers to cover every other family member? You kind of almost expanded the pool from this law, and when you look at these, the actual percentage, it's usually less than 1%. It's a very small cost, and you're not taking into account that people are contributing to those premiums as well, and they're also paying taxes on it that goes to the state treasury. So it just doesn't add up.
Great.